Well, greetings again. It's Nick, Michalak, and Steve Frazier.
Hello again.
Here to talk about the 2018 movie that they just happened to just call Halloween because they ran out of ideas, and
we're doing a new one. This is the first time that we've done like a new
movie that's less than a year old.
Yeah.
And
we're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore.
We're not going to take it anymore.
So, get ready.
You've been warned. So switch on your subtitles, people, so you can follow along with the dialogue, the plot.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever you call it.
Whatever you want to call it. Anyway, there we go, guys. You can sync up to the timestamp of 0 with your own copy of 2018's Halloween. And in a countdown, we'll get you to hit play. So in 3, 2, 1, play.
Our loyal listeners might have just picked this up at the Red Box. This is so new.
Yes.
And then they're going to ask for $1.99 back when they're done. I don't even know how much a Red Box costs, to be honest with you.
I haven't had a Red Box in years. First thing.
Here's the best part of the movie. It's the Universal logo.
They turned the Universal logo first time since Season of the Witch.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm pretty certain, because I think the other two are distributed by Lionsgate, zombie movies.
Sure. And look at this pretty Miramax.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that.
Moving up in the world right before you go out of business.
I do like that.
You know, Blumhouse logo.
Yeah, this one, I never understood this one.
Yeah, this one's a little goofy.
It's like, it's trying to be creepy. It's a little, I don't know. It's
a little Sam Raimi-esque in a certain way.
It's just too kind of,
Yeah.
They went back to the original
font and color.
Yeah. This is good. Malik Akkad, our old friend.
Yeah.
Rough House. What has Rough House done? Anything?
I have no idea. Probably just a random investor.
Okay, so as the viewer of the trailer of this film, you are led to believe that this movie picks up however many years we are now after
40
years after part 1.
Yes.
Part 1 has happened. It's in our archives. Go back and listen to that, and then stop what you're doing and do this one next. Yes. Everything you see now, everything that ever happened after part 1.
All the 7 other movies we did,
none of it exists.
We did it for nothing. Over. We're just us talking it into thin air.
All right, so we're starting over. we're in a okay. I got it. So 7 shots. Nope. No, I guess it was 7 shots off the balcony.
Okay.
He goes down into the grass, never to be seen from again. Roll credits. 40 years later, here we go.
Yeah, and the original, they did have an idea of this would have been like digital Donald Pleasance, which would have been horrible. But they had the original intent of reshooting the end of the first film to retcon it to fit into him getting captured at the end of it. It would have been terrible.
No.
I would have been terrible. And you don't know X-Men movies, all that kind of crap.
I really don't. Not very well.
For people who are aware of it, it's like, this kind of feels like a lot of the last couple X-Men movies where it's like, they come up with an idea, but it's like, we don't want to do the other 3 films that kind of lead up and fill up the gap in the story between this. We're just going to jump ahead and like make the audience kind of figure it out as we go along. That's what they've done with some of those films. And their continuity is about as bad as this franchise, too, so...
Oh, okay. So we got these 2. Undetermined really who they are. It's just that they're going to be doing some sort of reporting or study or whatever. We're at the sanitarium, and apparently he hasn't spoken for 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay, every case file written on him, which is what? From when he was 9 and then from 40 years ago? Because nothing has happened in between.
Yeah.
So there's 2 case files. Not every case file. There's 2.
There's no other case file except the 2 incidents he had.
Right. He's had 2 incidents.
Judith and stuff in 78. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Got it.
And there's nothing else has happened. He hasn't done nothing.
He has done nothing
else.
Okay. Here we go. I'm just trying to set the stage.
Yes, because continuity. Oh, God. It's a franchise.
Okay. So there he is. Which one is he? The one with the umbrella? Is that Michael?
It's the Penguin. This is Arkham Asylum in the Batman movies.
All right. He's aware. I feel like... oh, now we're going to talk about the umbrella guy.
Yeah.
So, okay. The checkerboard concrete is kind of a nice visual
clue.
Dun, 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 dun. Available in the archives now.
Yes.
So we got Graybeard Michael. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Following your case for years, how would you really come across this case?
Why would it take years to follow the case is the fact of the matter.
Right, because it was one night in a small town in, I guess, the same state. I guess this is in Illinois. Fine.
I would imagine so.
I don't know anything about a small town case from 40 years ago that I would be following. I'm just saying.
I mean, you'd have to be a hardcore serial killer enthusiast to really kind of dig to something that extent.
I am a decent hardcore, decently hardcore serial killer enthusiast.
Honestly, in this state, we've had a mass murderer in terms of Gacy.
Sure, and he lived 15 minutes from where we're sitting right now.
Christ.
Okay. How did you get that? And
something that states evidence.
Also, he wouldn't feel anything because he randomly picked this mask out of the drugstore.
Yeah, when I was watching this scene in the theater, it's like, oh, for Christ's sake, what are you doing here? Trying to... obviously, later on in the film, they kind of make it not that's what they're intending to, but these podcast journalists are very much up in their own asses a little bit here and everything. And this guy's trying to sensationalize the situation, and he thinks there's...
Well, he's trying to get a reaction.
He's trying to get a reaction, trying to get sent a report on.
So
he's kind of full of himself. So it's like, but seeing this as just the cold open of the film is like, oh, are you really going? Is this the filmmaker's intent, saying the mask has some kind of supernatural power over Michael? That is just like a bad impression.
Which is completely illogical.
Yeah.
He picked the mask randomly out of the drugstore, put it on his head.
It means no more to him than the clown mask that he did when he was, 8 years old, wherever the heck that was?
With Judith, right.
Yeah.
So all of that crescendo was really for nothing.
Yeah.
Awesome graphic here with the pumpkin in reverse, I will say. Okay, so...
Yeah.
Michalak? Okay. I like weird names. I feel like these are going really quickly.
Yeah, this thing when
the opening credits are really like you don't even get a chance to read.
Yeah, it was a little too quick. I mean, in this day and age, almost no films have opening credits because they just want to get into the film right away and they don't want to linger on it.
Except Woody Allen, who still puts every single credit at the beginning and nothing at the end.
As we said before, the Bond films,
sure,
tradition and all that. So, but generally films.
But even Bond films do both, though.
Yeah, they got the cold open thing, and then they've got the title sequence, and they go into the rest of the film.
Right, but they still do credits at the end.
Yeah.
Like Woody Allen does everything at the beginning because he's Woody Allen. You got to be different. But so this digital pumpkin looks awesome.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis was a producer. So was Danny McBride, who I don't care for.
Yeah.
I'm not a Danny McBride guy. I've never found him funny. I don't like. He does all of these, I get it. He's a comedian, and he has a following, and he does things, Eastbound and Down, and all that he did.
Yeah.
But, every time he's shown up in like a Will Ferrell movie or one of these comedies, I always find him to be the least entertaining person. Well, of course it failed to provoke a response because
you're an idiot.
A, you're an idiot, and B, it doesn't, oh my god. They're also setting this up for these two to be our main characters.
Oh yeah, that's no good. That's no good. I don't. This whole opening structure just doesn't feel like it's introducing the proper characters up front.
Right. And it's not like, spoiler alert, these guys are not the main characters. It's different than, I feel like, than in Nightmare on Elm Street 1, the original, where
Tina
is kind of set up to be the main character, and then they swerve you, and it's actually Nancy.
But at least with Elm Street, like I'm sure you're getting to, is like at least you have this group of characters that you're introduced to, and they shift the focus. This is like we're introducing these two characters mainly, and then they're going to be dispatched shortly thereafter. Then you got to entirely shift the entire narrative to a different perspective.
Yes, that's exactly what I was getting at.
Just want to jump in there a little bit.
No, that's fine. But, we're making a podcast. Do you make don't you? Are there really? See, I always just assume that like all podcasts, you sit down, you record it, and then it's in the can, as opposed to like this big go out on the road production podcast.
Yeah,
Is there a market for that?
I've never heard of a podcast like that. Usually, you would invite the people into the studio and you'd interview them there, or you'd Skype them or something like that. You don't go on a cross-state trip or whatnot to kind of jump around like you're making a BBC documentary.
And if you're going to go to these lengths, why not just shoot it and make a short film or something?
You do a Kickstarter.
Or even, make it like a vlog or
a YouTube vlog.
Something
a travel thing. Make a YouTube
now,
series
in our rant about these two characters, who at this point are our main characters, did they say where they were going, or is this picture right here our first reveal of what they're doing? I feel like this is it.
Yeah, mainly,
So up until right this second, we didn't know whose house they were approaching.
Yeah,
and we get JLC, Laurie Strode, 40 years later.
And she's wearing another wig.
They've made this one looks pretty good though.
Oh yeah.
I like this look on her.
Yeah.
So she says they've done a radio expose, multiple things.
Yeah.
Here we go. No new insights. That's awesome. Like Jamie Lee Curtis has taken the approach of the audience at this point. Like there's nothing left to learn, people. So, at this point, our two main characters have just kind of become the heels.
Yeah.
And JLC has become our babyface.
Right. And just nitpicking this entire approach that they have. It's like, usually you would arrange all this stuff in advance to contact the different people you want to interview.
You don't just show up at her house.
Yeah, you don't just show up and just gamble on it. And it's like... So they're producing this podcast on the 40th anniversary. They're not going to release it on the 40th anniversary. They're just producing it now. They're going to release it like a week later.
Right. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
Daughter and granddaughter was just revealed. Okay, so that's a thing. Maybe with Ben Tramer. We don't know.
That would be nice.
We don't know. Because in this movie,
she doesn't have a buried name.
Ben Tramer is still alive, allegedly. How about... Oh, no.
Yeah, it's like, you're getting a boot out the door right now.
Okay, so now, because we don't... Here's the irony. We don't even have a story about Michael Myers. So we're going to make up a story about Laurie Strode.
Right.
And so really the movie's about her.
Yeah.
Not about Michael.
Yeah.
And the greater irony is that the folks who wrote this, Danny McBride and et al., don't... my point when I get to the end of this thing is that they have no idea who Laurie Strode is.
Yeah.
Because they made up some crazy old bitch, and oh my god, it's so terrible.
Right, they turn Laurie Strode into Sarah Connor from Terminator 2, basically. By the time we get to the survivalist with the shotgun and everything.
great reactions on her part.
Yeah. I mean, she acts very well in the film. I'm not going to take that away from her.
Yeah.
She's a tremendous actress.
And she has been
the writing's just
day one.
But you could change the name of the character.
A lot of OxyClean under that sink. I wonder if they paid for that placement. Like, everything was OxyClean under there. Go ahead.
I was going to say change the name of the character, but that wouldn't work continuity-wise. But just saying, you look at the character here, and there's no correlation to any trait that she had in the original film whatsoever.
Correct. Zero.
Nothing.
There's nothing.
It's a completely different style of character that has no relation to it.
What you're getting at is that this movie could have been about a crazy survivalist woman who survived an attack years ago.
Divorce it from the franchise. It could be the exact same film.
The bad guy could be not Michael Myers. It could be a random stranger.
Yeah. Change the mask. Change a few names. It's
and now you actually have a movie that has my interest.
Yeah.
But because you've Mario 2'd this, the characters onto this story,
yeah,
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Mario 2 is a better sequel.
Yeah. I mean, at least in H2O, there wasn't that much of a disparity between the versions of Laurie in the previous films. I still think that there was at least enough character there to identify it as the same person with a certain level of trauma. As much as we kind of dug into that, I think there's still at least enough familiarness with the H2O portrayal of the character than there is here.
Right. H2O doesn't exist here, by the way.
Right.
But you're right. That one was a better, even though also convoluted.
Yeah.
Her character was more true to the Laurie character. And so here okay, so now let's see. By the end of this, who really is our main character? Is it established? Is it really this woman who is apparently the daughter, and then the younger lady is the granddaughter?
Yeah.
Here we've got our three-friend dynamic, just like the first one.
Yeah.
And clearly, according to the story, the granddaughter is like doesn't understand why is grandma been shut out of our lives. I love her. Why can't we include her in things? And now, I mean, I guess it makes sense that in this town, she would have name recognition. And other kids. She might be local legend.
Parents pass it down to the kids, and
it's
so on
a
and so
local
forth.
legend. Sure. And I guess there'd be people talking about state. Local phenomenon that happened years ago. So the two podcasters, they might have known about the case because I guess it's small town murder 40 years ago would be, I guess it would be okay.
But I mean,
it was only a couple hours away.
Because also we get the knowledge that obviously since Halloween 2 didn't happen, Loomis continued on and he was alive for the next who knows how many years, decades, whatnot. So who knows what kind of stuff he might have been talking to people about or whatever it was that he might have been making more vocal in a public eye, whatnot.
Right. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 that we didn't get into had the Loomis character become really egotistical and write a book and become famous and really blow his own horn about how he what he did. So that kind of thinking is interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he ruined the rest of that movie. But so maybe the granddaughter is our main character. We still don't know. Is it our podcast? Like who?
We're nearly 20 minutes into the film, which is about a fifth of the way into the movie, and
And at this point,
we're still trying to get the sense of where the film's narrative is going to land.
Right.
Whose shoulders is going to bear down upon. Because we've got the podcast, we've got Laurie, we've got a little bit of the doctor there. Then we've got
the mother-daughter,
the
daughter-granddaughter.
Then we got all these other friends. Like, who is going to carry the weight of the film? And that's still not quite certain.
If anybody out there that's listening is familiar with screenplay structure, which we're both fairly familiar with, the classic 3-act structure, the end of the first act, which should happen about 20 minutes in, you should have a few key things to Yeah, boxes checked, and one of them
get your characters in place and get this story.
One has to be a main character,
forward, yeah,
and also an objective.
Yeah.
And at this point, we have neither a main character or an objective,
right?
And therefore, we have not finished Act 1 yet.
Yeah.
And therefore, because it's one of those subtle things when people go, I don't know why I didn't really like that movie. It's probably because the boxes weren't checked at the right time.
Because my thing is always like, if I'm watching a new film, if by the first half-hour mark I'm not invested, I'm pretty much going to check out and just move on.
And that's a screenplay issue.
Exactly.
Because they didn't follow the math problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Here we go. What's happening? Grandma's trying to get involved in her life. And why do we keep calling him... I mean, I guess she did call him the boogeyman.
Yeah. Loomis confirmed that when she asked him at the end of the film.
Oh, now here's something interesting. She said all the preparing and all the whatever cost you your family. So... Okay, so now we've set up that the Laurie Strode character has been overprotective and obsessive about
paranoid,
the possibility of Michael getting out, maybe, and therefore she wanted to protect her own family from the possibility of something, which is why she shoots mannequins in her backyard.
Yeah.
This is not the Laurie Strode that we left.
No.
At the house 40 years ago.
No. I mean, granted, yes, people change over the course of 40 years to some extent. But, like we said, there's no connective traits about the character. When you saw her in the first film, she was a little bit demure. She was very compassionate. She was great with the kids. She was very loving and a very positive person. She wasn't a raunchy person like her friends were. She was very much a very intelligent, book smart person, and there's just none of that quality here or whatnot. You don't see that sense of compassion with the character, with anyone that she deals with. She's just crazy, obsessive, paranoid person.
Yeah, there's some disconnect here that it just doesn't, I don't know. So here we're getting some kind of backstory. Somebody doing an impersonation, pretend.
Yeah, someone came in to
voice act the role of Loomis. It's okay. It's not great.
Which they also did in H2O.
Yeah, they did actually. So, oh wait, is what we're seeing live, or is it a flashback based on what the Loomis tape was playing?
So someone's replaying the tape for some bizarre reason for no point.
It's the podcasters replaying an old interview to try to put their story together.
Despite the fact we're not actually seeing the podcast, we're seeing the doctor, we're seeing her. We don't see.
Oh no, we did. I think you were looking at me or something.
Okay.
So no, they showed them.
Okay, never mind.
In a hotel room or something. Yeah, he's the one who put the tape in. Okay. So but the actual footage here is live.
Yeah.
And Laurie's in her car drinking, and holding a gun, and is it all because he was supposed to be transferred? She's there watching the transfer.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been 40 years, they're transferring him. She's concerned, it's finally happening, this is the apocalypse.
And that scene leads to nothing.
Right. I don't understand.
Yeah.
She parks outside and then goes crazy when the bus leaves?
And then she shows up here in about 10 seconds.
How did she get there? And that's convenient. This must be located right next. The restaurant must be next door to the prison. We got it. This franchise.
I'm sure there's one down the road from the Joliet prison, you know?
Yeah, we're fairly close to a fairly famous prison. Joliet, Illinois. Oh, don't spoil. Don't spoil the twist.
Don't spoil it for the audience.
And this is Okay, so this is her parents meeting the boyfriend maybe for the first time.
Something along those lines.
And all she wants is grandma to come with.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman who's been in a ton of stuff. Never a horror movie, always a stupid comedy.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have an argument over family dinner. Oh, here's grandma.
So, yeah.
And he knows her because of the local legend.
Possibly.
I guess. Was he around?
Or maybe she just talks about him all the time. She just talks to him about her all the time.
Oh, so, there we go. Put down. There you go. Have
that
some
wine down.
I mean, I would drink a glass of wine.
Oh, I know you would.
I'm not a crazy survivalist alcoholic woman who survived the boogeyman 40 years ago.
You've got the same hair.
Well, yeah. Not really. I mean, I guess I could go blonde and it would be pretty close.
You could platinum there.
So now she's going to have a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't explain why. I mean, okay, so the shape, that's an interesting...
Yeah, I don't think they actually ever use that in dialogue.
No.
In any of the films.
No, none. Why would she say that?
Yeah.
That's weird.
That is weird.
That's so bad. Why would she say that?
Yeah.
Especially 40 years later. I mean, okay, I'll concede that she wants to be there for the family, but she really did this thing that she had to do.
She's got a connection with the granddaughter, so I mean, I get that.
You know, she went to the prison. It had a worse effect than she thought. She's trying to make good with the famo.
Uh-huh.
It didn't work out.
And she can't hold it together. Yeah.
She can't hold it together. She's obviously an alcoholic. I don't know. It's an okay. So far, the story's not great, but it's okay.
Structure is a little needs a major polish. We can get into a whole lot more about that.
Sure, but as far as the story that you're telling me, that alcoholic can't quite deal with the fact that maybe something would happen. Okay, now we're gonna get I was okay with it. It's not a great story, but at least you're telling me a story.
Yeah.
Fine. Now we're going to get these flashbacks to Survivalist.
It's like a Saw house.
It is like a Saw house. God, I got to make you watch those.
Yeah, there's like a $20 Blu-ray set with all of them in there. I'll just binge them over September or something.
I mean, the first three. Well, okay, never mind.
We'll get into it eventually. Yeah.
So we just had about a 2-minute, not even, we had a 1-minute flashback montage that basically makes the last 30 years, well, not 30, 20 years ago, seem like she's been crazy this whole time. And I don't know, I just don't get it. Like, a minute montage isn't enough to convince me that this woman is that crazy over something that wasn't...
Again, it's like doing this 40 years later with again, kick everything out of continuity. It leaves it's 40 years of a progression with a character that we do not get to see how she gets from point A to point B over a course of 4 decades. There needs to be a little something in it to fill in how Laurie went from well-adjusted, demure girl in the first film and transforms. And it's too stark of a change in the character.
Can we talk about how the dad just called this kid Lumpy?
Yeah. That guy looks way too old to be this kid's direct father. He's grandfather.
That's grandpa for sure.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily mind this. It's kind of an unexplained. How did this accident happen? We don't know.
Oh, it's a little bit of the first film where Loomis and them
arrive on the scene.
And they're all kind of scattered out.
Right. How did that happen? We don't really know.
And Halloween 4, where Michael wakes and busts the ambulance off the road and everything, kills everyone with the blood outside the ambulance.
Wow, Jesus Christ. More blood on the outside than on the inside.
Explodes outwards to the inside.
So, at least there's direct cause and effect. Like, Michael was in the ambulance, now the ambulance has crashed, he did it.
Yeah.
This, it's like, what's happening? I don't really know. Which one of these people is Michael? We don't really know.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Here's a dead cop. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Old Lumpy here is using a shotgun. Where's his dad? We don't know. That's kind of cool. So, I'm down with this scene. Oh, now that's scary. Run is a great line. It's kind of cliche, but it's also a great line. Oh, Lumpy. Oh. Don't go on the bus, Lump.
No.
Is there anybody left on the bus? Oh, we shoot anyway.
Yeah.
I love that the kid said fuck. That's awesome. Well, you don't know who that was. Why? Oh, you heard him say don't shoot. Maybe you shot anyway, but still, you could be like, hey, are you okay? I'm sorry, even.
Yeah. Sorry I almost murdered you.
Uh-oh. Wait, is Michael Myers really going to kill this kid who's like 13? That is amazing. I did watch this in the movie theater. Don't get me wrong. I just put most of it out of my mind.
But
Back to the Future.
Part 2. Well, it's like Michael gets in the car, but he hides in the back seat, just so he can wait for someone to get in the car to kill them. Then he's just going to kick him out of the car and get in the front seat and drive away.
Explain that logic to me one more time.
So Michael gets in the car, but he gets into the back seat of the car.
Oh no, I think I follow.
So he can wait for someone to get into it just to kill them, and then just drive off in the car anyway.
I just wanted you to
try and drive in the car anyway.
I just wanted you to explain it out loud one more time.
At least in the first one, when Nancy Loomis, when he did it to Nancy Loomis, he was at least waiting for her to get the keys. Or something like that, but he still didn't drive away, so I don't know what that was all about.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
This guy needs a wig. A rug. Something. He's a little wispy up top.
Oh.
He's
yeah.
What is happening here? Is that a... I mean...
Twisted his neck back.
Broken neck around here. But I can't show my hands, sir. I'm paralyzed. Did he escape? Like, okay. I like the little title cards with the dates. I mean, that's... Oh, we've still got our podcasters. Our main character, question mark? We don't know. Judith Myers. And now, nothing is so special about Judith Myers, for the record. No. Nobody would come all over. Well, okay. Maybe you heard a report.
A local legend would.
Local legend that this tombstone was previously stolen and put back.
Right. Because Chicago's got a lot of ghost stories and haunted places around here. So, I mean, we've got plenty of people going around checking these joints out. I've done it myself. I
am a frequent visitor of cemeteries. Everywhere I travel. I've been to some really cool cemeteries to see famous people, and also just to like look around at really old graves and stuff, which I think are fascinating.
What is with the cowboy hat?
Well,
it's Illinois, damn it.
I don't know.
Not Texas.
Like,
I guarantee it's like, I'm going to wear that cowboy hat so people will notice me in the movie.
Especially a black cowboy. That's not as common.
No. Not in Illinois.
You know what that guy's got that I like?
The coat.
A green jacket. Hot damn. Haddonfield hasn't changed a lick in 40 years. Okay, so I like that. The babysitter murders.
Which I think was kind of like the original title for the film.
It could have been.
I think it was.
Why are you going to have a circus? I mean...
See, the problem... A problem with this film is that they...
Thank you for clarifying.
They're too meta about the whole thing, that they're almost having the characters realize the franchise has a legend and it's very popular and it's very well known, that everyone knows the lore or whatnot. They're not seeing it inside the context of the continuity that they have, where barely anyone knows anything about Michael Myers.
Nobody knows anything
No
about
one's had a news story on this guy in 40 fucking years. Outside of this county or whatnot, no one's probably talked about Michael Myers in 40 years.
And outside of... even in Haddonfield... I mean, even 40 years ago, the legend was, we can't sell his house.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And he killed, what? 4 people?
Yeah, I think so.
Roughly 4?
I think it was 4.
Yeah.
Well, so Judith and...
Because you cut out Halloween 2 where there's like another 6 people.
Oh, I think it was
the original
more than
film is like 4 people. It's like the guy you stole the coveralls from. There's like Nancy Loomis and her 2 friends. I think that was basically it.
PJ and Nancy Loomis both got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
boyfriend, PJ's boyfriend,
with the
glasses,
sure, with the stabby knife and the head turn, sure. And
that was it.
The coveralls guy.
Yeah, that's it.
So 4.
Right.
Unless we're missing something.
Yeah.
But
that's all I can remember is just the 4.
So
when you cut out all the other sequels where he has like killed like 20 people, where there is going to be a lot more weight behind his name and all that type of stuff, he's not that big of a deal in the scope of the world, in the scope of serial killers in this continuity.
Right, so his total is 5 all day.
Yeah, with Judith, yeah.
And the babysitter murders isn't even that great of a title because 0 of the people that he killed were actually babysitters.
Yeah.
0.
Well, Nancy Loomis' character, and that's it.
Oh, she did have a kid.
Because she was babysitting Lindsay, and she dumped him on.
You're right, Lindsay. So
Jamie.
20% of his victims were babysitters.
Yeah, yeah. Just like it's again just a whole thing where they're not really grasping the context, what it is within the continuity that they have established. They're trying to make it look like this is Hannibal Lecter or something like that. This guy who's probably had national news
now,
for
there's a great
course
visual.
of decades or whatnot, or that he's Dahmer or something else like that. It's like as we've discussed before, when it's these very contained things in an era where there really wasn't like national cable news stuff, it just doesn't translate in that fashion to a national news story of what Michael did in 63 and 78.
Right, there wasn't a 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
Now this scene, like that's cool. Mm-hmm. This entire scene with him showing up at a gas station or whatever, stealing the clothes, other people discovering it, that's a cool scene.
Yeah, but it's also lifted from Halloween 4.
Well, sure.
And this is partially from Halloween H2O.
Partially. Yep,
Yeah.
the bathroom
He
scene.
doesn't kill anyone in the stall or whatnot, but it's still a partially borrowed idea.
Right. I think visually, this one might be the best.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's these two is so convenient.
Yeah,
And
because they've exhausted their purpose in the story, so just get rid of them. And that's kind of a limited character.
Exhausted their purpose, I don't even know if that's the correct way of saying it, because all they've done is kill them and then not allowed them to have a purpose. Like, by killing them,
their only
it
purpose
exists.
in the story is to give exposition, and that's it.
Right.
To elicit exposition from other people, and then once you don't need any more exposition, you don't have a reason to have these characters around them.
There shouldn't have been exposition to begin with.
Right.
Because that's lazy storytelling.
Yeah. You could easily rewrite this whole film without these characters being in it whatsoever.
You could also rewrite the story with these characters making it to the end and having it be about them and trying to uncover, like, to find out if there is something there that we all know there isn't.
Yeah.
And the fact that okay, all right.
One, in the earlier scene, he never turned around to actually see the mask, that they actually had the mask. He just told them that they had a mask. So he never actually saw what they looked like. He never saw the mask. How do you know where to find them? How do you know how to identify them?
How did he get in their trunk?
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He doesn't even know what they look like, and somehow he tracks them down and finds them and digs the mask out of the trunk.
Roll the goddamn credits, because this movie's already shit.
And I was wondering before this, why is the mask dirty? It's been in an evidence bag in an evidence locker for 40 years,
now,
preserved from the original crime scene.
I feel like it might not actually be dirty, it's just cracked.
I can see that, but it just seems a little
old and brittle.
I can understand that.
And here is where you lose me altogether, because
she's got a
survivalist bunker.
Yeah. Again, this feels like Sarah Connor in Terminator 2. She's gone completely crazy off the deep end, and she's gone completely gung-ho survivalist Rambo style.
And completely unwarranted.
Right.
It's all out of... She's had an emotional reaction to something that hasn't happened. You know what I mean? It's a what-if scenario.
Right.
And for those psychology folks out there, like, that is one of the most illogical things that you can do, is anticipate something, good or bad, and then have a reaction to it without it actually happening yet.
Yeah.
So...
And being obsessed with it for 4 decades.
Right.
We don't claim to be experts on the psychology of trauma upon the human brain and people's pathology or whatnot, but just in terms of a screenwriting, just in terms of writing a good screenplay, it just seems way overdone. It feels like a trope almost.
A little bit, yeah.
Because, I mean, we've seen other franchises where there's a final girl and she does survive, and maybe see her a little bit in the next film, like Friday the 13th Part 2. Adrienne King's character.
Sure.
She was a little shaken, a little bit kind of like uncertain about her life, but she wasn't going crazy.
I have no doubt in my mind that traumatic experiences, like almost being killed by a maniac, would, in fact, perhaps change the course of your outlook on life,
right,
and alter you. I don't get me wrong. I think that happens all the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
However, I don't think that somebody of that, if you're going to be altered, it's probably going to be immediate.
Yeah.
You wouldn't then get married, have a child, have a family life,
be able to raise them for probably at least about
10 years,
10
15
12, years,
right.
Yeah, something like that. Flashback, she was probably at least maybe 10 or 12 years.
So it's like she's ultra aware of her surroundings. She's not crazy.
No.
She's just, like, see, that's the thing. She's not actually crazy.
Yeah.
She's a very, you know...
coherent, cognitive human being.
Right. Who is...
She can function in society.
But she's so obsessed with this idea that she's gone down, you know, the rabbit hole of
5,000 worst things that could possibly happen.
Right. And that's not logical either. So I feel like that's just not the way to write her character.
No. They've taken
All right, hold on. We gotta criticize the costume.
Okay, yeah, that's
we got good costumes here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I got like a good pirate. Look at a little fat kid playing football back there. This is a straight out of part 1 scenario.
Yeah.
Now this cinematography is awesome.
Yeah.
This looks just like the first film.
Yeah. The steady can't work, all that.
I like the tracking, you know, the follow behind shot. I love the let's go between the houses.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like you're in the neighborhood with them. That's really cool. That's a decent shot right there. Yeah. You know, this looks, you know, pretty identical to Halloween 2.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Including the fact that she's making a sandwich. Like, okay.
Yeah.
What's happening right now? We're reshooting exactly Halloween 2.
Yeah. We're just adding more points where he actually kills people. Because a lot of these other points, like the H2O thing in the washroom and this point in Halloween 2, he doesn't actually kill any people. He just passively just drifting through a moment to get another car or just get another knife or something like that. So it
was means to an end.
Yeah, he's just searching for one little thing, and he's not killing people every time they come into his peripheral vision.
What is his motive right now?
There is none.
So okay.
So as we've kind of gone through the other points in the franchise where we've kind of criticized that they handcuff themselves by making Laurie Strode related to Michael and everything. What do we got now?
Right, that hasn't happened. There's no relation other than the fact that she was somebody who happened to be there. She just happened to walk across the street. That nurse's outfit is ridiculous. Goddamn ridiculous. Great tracking shot here, though. Or what is that on her head? What is is that some kind of unicorn?
Yeah,
I don't know. These pumpkins? Who does this? Nobody does this. No. Nobody puts out 48 pumpkins and a fucking cornucopia.
Jesus Christ.
Beautiful homes, though, and that's a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so Laurie Strode, 40 years ago, stood at his front door, and he went, "Oh,
just got transfixed on her.
I like this girl. I'm gonna follow her around. Maybe I'll kill her because I'm crazy." Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the story of Halloween 1. So he breaks out of prison 40 years later, and does what?
Wanders around town
here?
And just
he had to get
kills
here.
Random people. Yeah, he had to still travel into town in the SUV. So he still goes back to the same place to go ahead and still do the same thing.
That's a cool shot right there.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Where he goes out of frame, but the camera stays here and out.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, gee, look at that. That's beautiful. But why? Why is he here?
Right, because...
And here's the reveal. They're cross-dressed as Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Very clever.
These days, you got to change it up. I
actually was
predictable.
I was this close to doing a Sonny and Cher reversal where I was the Cher and my friend was the gonna be the Sonny, but we weren't able to pull it off in time. Now this looks like a hopping party.
Yeah. But yeah, just to interject, so it finally done something to completely remove the familial connection between them, but
Everything that
it's still the exact same freaking story, where it's still Michael versus Laurie. So it's like, what's the point of removing it just because you didn't like it? But they're still linked together regardless, out of circumstance. So you haven't freed yourself up to do anything different with the story. That's the problem.
Right. There is no story. Is the problem.
Because that's the thing we harped on with all those other sequels, that you shackled yourself by making all this whole thing of familiar connection, and Michael's got to keep killing his family. If you didn't have that, we always said that you could free up and do different things like it, like kind of like Resurrection was. It's a little bit of a departure, a little bit freeing itself up from that shackles of the franchise. They just did. They decided to just remove an element of continuity because they didn't like it. John Carpenter never liked it. But there's still this.
It crippled.
It makes no difference whatsoever in the story. You could still have it or not have it, and it's the same story. In this film, whether Halloween 2 was in continuity or not is pretty much inconsequential.
Right.
Because it's still the same story. Whether she's his sister or not, you still got the same story here. There's no reason except they just didn't want to have that connection in the film because they just didn't like the idea of it. That's diatribe number one.
Oh boy, here we go. I will say that we're getting ready to walk into the greatest character in this film, and it's this
kid,
7-year-old boy.
Because he gets what the fuck's going on. He's got enough sense in his head.
Is the greatest character in the film. Whoever wrote this guy knows how to write a good character.
Oh, as on the movies, the TV screener, they're showing Alex Cox's Repo Man.
Oh, good.
Which I love that that movie's great. It's like that was the best part of the whole movie when I saw this in the theater. It's like, oh, you're showing a better movie inside your own movie. That's like the one thing you don't do.
Right.
Of course they don't.
Like in Halloween 3 when they showed Halloween 1. Trying to understand the decor. Apparently the kid's an animal lover, but he also likes tractors. And, okay.
Got some elephant wallpaper. Some decent wallpaper.
Where is this happening where these alcohol cups are just out in the open? The kid's got a flask out.
I mean, it's clearly the school gymnasium.
Right.
But,
like, where are the chaperones?
Yeah.
Look at the gay sailor on the right there. I love this kid. We're about to set up kind of a love triangle, which is weird.
Uh-huh.
Bonnie's over there making out with a tiger.
Uh-huh.
Gotta take off your pumps.
Yeah.
Allison is spelled weird in the subtitles with a Y. I don't understand. He's wearing a bra, which is also awesome. I mean, I can get into a good cross-dress costume. This is very well done. Not a bad little... I guess this is a good way to create some tension and whatever between them. She also... oh, that's good. She also, if you missed it while you're in your rant, ignored a phone call from Grandma, who is going into ultra survivalist mode because she knows what has happened.
Yeah.
And as she knows, the very worst thing for anybody, anything that could happen is for children to be out in the world on Halloween night when Michael Myers is around. I will say that the scene with him killing the woman in the home was so well done.
Yeah.
But, again, you can't make a movie based on a bunch of scenes that look good.
Yeah.
Like, as good as they are...
Something you have to be
You have to have a story.
Cohesive and coherent with your narrative.
How many other franchise films have they ripped off at this point?
Oh, they ripped off H2O and Halloween 2 and Halloween 4.
And...
We're going to get the Halloween 3 mask making a cameo in a little while.
And this potentially Halloween 1 right here.
A little bit.
Maybe not.
But yeah, with the boyfriend character was kissing the other girls, like, I think that's the last we see of him in the whole film. There's no continuation of that thread whatsoever.
Get out of here. Is that real?
I think that's the fact. And I think it's only there so that she gets her phone thrown in the pudding and she can't be alerted.
There's a sentence I didn't think I was going to hear when I woke up this morning.
The phone gets thrown in the pudding so that she can't get alerted that the crazed killer is out in the loose.
Hashtag pudding phone.
I think that's the last we see of the boyfriend character. Which again,
I'll have a good dry hump.
You'll agree with me. This feels like the first draft. They shot the first draft.
It really does. And there's so many different movies where a lot of things, not just movies, TV shows or skits on Saturday Night Live, where you're watching it and you're like, what? This has the potential to be so much better. And you're like, oh, they wrote it out
together.
They slapped it together, and then, oh, we gotta go.
Roll film.
Let's do it. So, I mean, in screenwriting, our kid. God, I love this kid. Shut up, Dave. This kid is perfect. Send Dave first.
Send Dave first. Yes.
This kid is perfect.
He's the smartest person in this movie.
He is the smartest person. He knows better. He's like, you know what? I know y'all are going to smoke weed and, get naked, and I'm just going to be in my bedroom, and I'm only a kid. But I saw the boogeyman, and, I like you, so send your boyfriend in there to get him killed first.
Yeah.
And he swears. I love that he says fuck so much. It makes me wonder, like, so this kid is an actor. I get it. He gets a script. Right?
Yeah.
And, what's my part? Oh, okay. Kid on page 45 to 49. Okay, I got it. Hey, mom or agent or whatever, can you look over my part?
Yeah.
And it's smoking weed and browser history, and I say fuck 9 times, and and the mom has to go, oh yeah, this sounds like a great role. Like, I think of this every time there's a kid. Like, in our Shocker commentary, we had the same thing where the little girl says fuck a whole bunch. And you're like, wait, what? Like, who is this kid's agent? And why are the parents okay with it? But I'm not mad because I love it. Entertain the shit out of me. That's fine.
It's weird because I'm just, like, flashing on, like, Drew Barrymore roles. And
right.
She wasn't doing any of that stuff, but she was doing it all off camera.
Oh, right.
That's not what the life was.
It was the opposite. Role reversal.
All on camera is all sweet and sunshine and rainbows, all off screen. God damn, it's a horror show.
That's right. It's fucking and cocaine, right. Horror show. This kid's got a bad look. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I don't like his look.
Looks like Jack White from the
a
White
little bit.
Stripes.
Yeah, he does look like Jack White.
He's got that thing going with the hair.
Maybe it's his Judd Crandall outfit. I don't know.
Yeah, like he was dressing up as a farmer. Come on. At least be like a zombie farmer or something.
Yeah, a little creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't your door close, kid? Oh, because he's there.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great reveal. This is a great scene. Like I said, there are some great scenes in this movie. The problem is, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right.
Why is he here?
Why did he walk all the way into this house, all the way up into this room, and hide in that closet?
What is his motive for anything? He doesn't know Laurie Strode from fuck all in the last 40 years.
And we'll get to the further contrived part of the whole film when it actually gets to it, about how they get the two characters in the same area.
He doesn't know anything. You're gonna get killed.
Right.
He doesn't know anything about anything because he's been locked up for 40 years. He hasn't talked. I get it.
Yeah.
He's crazy. Fine. Whatever. He was crazy at 9. He was crazy when he escaped in 78.
See, now, there's a little bit like what you say. We need some kind of parameters, a sense of rules of what. I mean, there's not a lot of rules.
Here's our
in a
Halloween 3
film.
masks.
Yeah, our Halloween 3 masks. Here we go. So we check that box.
We've shouted out to 2, 3, 4, 6, not 6.
H2O.
H2O, which is 7, I guess.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, and 7 so far.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, none of those exist.
Yeah.
So instead, it's a wink and a nod to anyone paying attention.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's insulting to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My whole thing is like, okay, we don't want anything to do with these other films, so they're all out of continuity. They have nothing to do with this film whatsoever. They contribute nothing to this. But let's cherry pick all these little ideas and all this iconography that they all came up with. But the actual films are no good. Fuck these other movies.
Right.
But they're good enough to steal ideas from little scenes here and there. It's like, make up your fucking mind. Either you're going to do a clean sort of reboot, new continuity thing, or you're continuing from other stuff. So it's like, I hate this sort of like half and half-ass kind of like, we're doing it, but we're not really doing it. We're going to do 10 tons of fucking fan service whole thing because
you're not doing me a service.
We can't do enough original ideas to fill up the whole film, so we got to take everything from all the other movies. They kind of sprinkle it in here to fill up the runtime.
In Halloween 1, and I know we just covered this, he sees Laurie, he becomes fixated on her, that becomes the whatever.
We can follow this.
Okay,
Very simpler,
so in this, he gets out of prison, and he escapes into town or whatever. So, who's the first person he sees? Is the podcasters? Not really. No, I take that back. The first person he sees is the people in the garage, which, for whatever reason, he decides to kill because he's crazy and take their clothes. Yeah. And then, okay, the podcasters. So instead of doing a Halloween 1 where we keep the podcasters alive and he becomes fixated on them and tries to kill them throughout the movie, which I would have bought as a logical story. Like, oh, I see you and I'm going to follow you and try to kill you, but you escape a bunch of times and they're the main, they're the Laurie Strode of this movie. I'm fine with that. Instead, we kill them off and we go snooping in the trunk to find something that doesn't mean anything, a prop.
Which we always established means nothing to him at the beginning, the first scene of the movie.
So then, showing up at town and just seeing, like, okay, he just saw the hammer and just killed the woman and then just killed the other woman.
Right. But still, it's like, okay, well, he runs into the kids, then he makes a direct turn to the right to walk another, 20 yards that way to grab the thing, and then goes into someone else's house. It's like we're forcing the plot this way and they're forcing the plot that way. And
here she's just gotten a look at him for the first time. So she had an emotional breakdown at a bus.
Yeah.
But now she sees a picture in a window and shoots her gun and she's perfectly fine. And here's a ripoff of number 1. There it is. We got it. So now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. So we're only missing 5 and 6 as 10/31/18. Oh, he said that he was getting that tattoo.
Because of the two of them doing whatever.
Doing whatever,
because it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, God.
Smack him in the face.
Fuck me is a great line. I love fuck me. So, I ask again. What is Michael's motive here?
Nothing. It's just one. It's like Halloween 2. He's just roaming around, doing nothing, just whatever. Until the plot catches.
Conveniently.
Reaches the 75-minute mark when we actually have something happen that has connection with the characters.
Oh, our black cowboy showed up, so shit's about to get real. What's our timestamp here? We're at hour 104 and change. So, man,
movie's an hour 46.
Okay, so
I think it's the longest one of the franchise.
We still have 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're still kind of waiting to figure out who is the main character.
Yeah. We still got too many elements kind of scattered out in different places.
We're just kind of
and now
watching...
we're getting the doctor more involved with this thing, so now he's more of a cog in the story.
As is the Black Cowboy.
Black Cowboy and the sheriff and the granddaughter and Laurie and
Michael himself.
And Michael himself. So we got like 5 different threads we could follow towards an end of something.
And the thread that I've just proposed about the podcasters surviving and him following them around, that one makes the most sense to me. Yeah. And they've thrown the baby out with the bathwater.
Would have been all right.
And because they had a connection to Laurie, because they were trying to involve her.
Yeah.
Michael, pronouns pal, would have run into Laurie, thus creating a confrontation later on in the movie.
Yeah. Which also happens in H2O, that she's not even aware that Michael's around and just happened to run into each other.
Well, that was really fucking convoluted.
That's very convoluted, but I'm just saying that...
Over the course of 9 states away, but...
yeah.
But... Well, in that one, though...
Go back and listen to that one.
Never mind.
It's going to take too long. It's going to take too long.
Fine. Okay. So now she's going to not rebound with the friend, but she's going to friend zone this kid who clearly has a crush on old Clyde here. I kind of like a woman in a suit. In a suit.
Yeah.
Something about it. Mm-hmm. And here he is pouring his love out for her. Good little... I like the nice touch of the police car through the background. I don't know. There's something about that just tickles me. Just gives me the feeling of
something.
You've done a good job with it. You know.
Yeah.
That's a pat on the back for the filmmakers. Yeah. Even though it's little, they didn't have. It could have just been a Honda Civic that drives by. Yeah. But the fact that it was not even a flashing police car, just a roaming.
Yeah.
On the beat, patrolling car.
Yeah.
And I guess there would be a doctor that has been trying to figure out.
We're going to get into this guy. It's like Laurie literally says, "Oh, you're the new Loomis," as if you had to point it out to the freaking audience.
Right. I mean, and I guess there's no telling what the relationship between Laurie and Loomis continued on after the first film.
Again, my early point.
In reality, if we're looking at it realistically, why would they have ever interacted beyond, like, I mean, maybe...
Just the initial investigation, deposition, stuff like that.
Sure. I mean, maybe a Christmas card. Maybe. Not even. I don't know.
Yeah, and Loomis was not really like Mr. Sentimental type of guy. He was, even in the first film, he just kind of like keep the damn evil contained and just like scared to death and everything. So I mean, it's like I just don't see that he would really kind of forge that type of relationship after the events of the first film, where there's not much of a relationship between them. They meet in the film for about 10 seconds.
Sure.
At least
you're right.
With the second film, there's more of a prolonged experience there.
They really would not. They would not have interacted.
But then, typically at the end of Halloween 2's originally, he was supposed to die. So, move on from that.
And she's got a pudding phone, so she's not getting any of the phone calls. I do like that at this point the daughter has finally. I always like it when there's a moment when the character finally goes, "Oh, you were right all along." Like, here we go. No, you're rejected. That is a great reaction.
Oh, okay, that's cold.
She, right there, had some of the best acting so far in the movie.
Yeah. But still, I mean, it's like a guy trying to do that is like, if that's not what you're asking for, then I totally support that, because that's bad. For a guy to force himself in any type of way that's unwelcomed.
Yeah, but
she,
like,
she
I get it. Like, that scene
and
is so realistic.
She was being very friendly with him, and he was definitely showing that he had an affection, and then it was like, they are teenagers, so I'll give them at least that, but it doesn't endear you to the audience.
He went for it. I get it. But her turn was so good, and that is awesome.
Yeah. I think my only problem when I was watching this scene in the theater is like, it's a great idea in a way, it's executed well, but I wish there was more music behind it to kind of give you a little twinge of the nerve type of thing. If you just had those little slight stingers, yeah.
This scene in particular is really well written, I think.
Yeah.
He's drunk. He thinks he's talking to the guy's house. He, it's self-deprecating.
Yeah, the guy owns the place, yeah.
He says, I was just trying to take a shortcut with a pretty girl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you really feel bad for this kid right now. Even though he did a shitty move.
Yeah.
You feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Because he got friend-zoned, he's drunk, he's clearly not,
He's on the pathetic end of things.
Right.
It's been a poor night now.
Right. He's had a rough go at things. And
now he's got Stabby Man after him.
And at this point, did he just survive an attack?
Well, for the moment.
For the moment, okay.
I was saying, I'm glad they brought Nick Castle back to play Myers, the Shape here, because I feel like we've talked about how we didn't like so much how he was so rigid in a lot of the other films and whatnot. I think Castle brings a lot more of the original mannerism of Michael back to the forefront. He's a lot more fluid in how he moves.
Right, and it was not Nick Castle, the gray bearded man. That's a different actor.
No, that's a different actor. Yeah,
but the man here.
Yeah, the guy actually performing under the mask is the same guy from the original film, mainly.
Sure. Now there's a good musical stinger.
Yeah, I like that.
But there needed, and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
There's no music here.
So
there's our
little bit of it.
And did Carpenter do this music?
Yes, he did.
Okay, I thought so.
Along with his son and a few other people, yeah.
And this, whatever these little stingers, as you call them, are really good.
Yeah.
You're right. There needed to be just a little something, though.
Yeah. Just gotta get that tension taut, and the music really helps with that in certain places. And I just feel like there are points in the film where I think there should have been an element of the score added in there to just build on that, to keep it tight.
So, why would Laurie...
Police squad.
So Laurie's character, the character of Laurie, is under the impression that Michael's sole purpose is to come get her again.
Right. She is transfixed on the fact that he's coming forward when he did. Again, there's no familiar connection. He doesn't even know that she's even alive to go hunt for, to even know where the hell to look for.
Right.
To know that she even lives in town.
What would be... There's no connection.
Right.
Other than he tried to kill her 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. He doesn't watch, even if he watched the news or had the internet, there's nothing that would say, oh, remember that woman that I interacted with for a half an hour 40 years ago?
Just want to see Michael doing a Google search. Looking for her on Facebook.
It's my childhood is a good line, I will say.
Yeah.
Because it does kind of set up.
Yeah. I don't think the husband's a very good character in the film. He's not up to the game of everything going on.
Well, he's just kind of a yes man.
Yeah. He's kind of there.
Like, what? I don't understand what...
I want to know where she got the money to get all these fucking guns and build this fucking house.
Oh, it's clearly a custom job. Yeah, this is
thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Where did she get this money?
She's got a crossbow. He waited for this night. He waited for you. Fuck you.
No.
He didn't wait for anything.
No.
The whole point is that it's just he's crazy. He kills whoever's in front of him.
And that again, that's kind of lifted dialogue from the first one when Loomis was kind of like talking to Braddock, saying he was looking at a wall, staring at a wall, looking towards this night type of thing. At least with that, at least in the original film, Loomis spun a story about the depths of Michael's evil, and just like he was looking for a moment to come back out and do what he's doing now. He's not like Loomis wasn't like, oh, he was looking to get this particular person or go to this particular type of thing or whatnot. It just like it just different intents and stuff like that, which just doesn't seem like it. They like they're picking out all these little things, but they don't really get a context of anything.
No,
and this whole thing here, this entire short sequence with this character, this freaking doctor, is just awful to me.
Like, really, what just happened?
Right. This moment coming up here in just a moment here. Get to it.
So, the doctor heel turned on the cop.
Yeah.
For what? So that he could understand what killing is?
Yeah.
So
totally unmotivated plot turn.
He wants to understand Michael so much that he is taken to murder to see if that will make him psychologically equivalent.
This moment right here is like, oh, in the theater I'm like, oh God, don't tell me this is where you're going, that this guy's going to lead off the rest of the goddamn movie as the killer. I literally thought that's where they were going to go.
I think I also...
Because what's the point of him putting the fucking mask on himself?
Well...
There is none whatsoever.
Again, it lends credibility to the idea that the mask is important. When we all know...
Not.
We all know it's not!
We established that in the first fucking scene in the movie. It has no bearing on anything, but they keep trying to drive home that the mask has some sort of power or whatnot. It has some kind of symbolism to Michael, when it doesn't.
It was a random grab in a hardware store.
Right.
A random grab.
It could have been any of a half a dozen masks. That's just what they chose for the production of the film. Outside of that, but just the fact that it again, they're taking the meta approach that in pop culture, in our world, it has a symbolism and a meaning. Inside the context of the movie, it doesn't mean jack shit.
So, the doctor has kept him alive to reunite him with Laurie?
Exactly.
What?
As some sort of real-world experiment type of thing that means nothing.
He doesn't know Laurie.
Right.
There's no connection.
The reaction that she had when she met him, it's like, I've never seen you before. It's like, oh, you probably heard his name or something like that. Then when she heard his name, oh, you're the new guy in charge of him. Okay. They have no relationship with one another.
She barely has a relationship with Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Aside from, my parents tried to sell his house, and he tried to kill me because he saw me standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. What's this fucking scene? Talking about some fucking sandwich or whatnot. You're You dump this on the cutting room floor. You don't need this scene for anything.
This is buddy cop. That whole scene was pointless.
Yes. It's entirely pointless.
That entire scene was to what? Introduce two cops sitting on the side of the road?
We're going to be dead in 2 minutes.
They could be faceless. Like, we would never even had to hear them talk.
Right.
They could just be a car that pulls up.
Yeah.
This is... so she's playing...
Yeah.
You know. These fucking guys.
Yeah.
Why?
Nah.
Like, you could have started the scene there. I would have been okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Entirely.
Wait, what did he say? Oh, okay. He said the sister, and I thought for a moment that it was... That wasn't the word. So, again...
He's a plot contrivance. He's not a character. This doctor guy.
Right.
He's a means to get Michael from one point to another so they can get to a climax of the film where he faces off with Laurie. That's entirely the purpose of this character.
This just pisses me off.
It does.
Everything about this is terrible.
It's first draft nonsense. You do another draft or two of this character is not in the film.
I mean, he might have been in that first scene when they're...
Right.
You know,
he's not in this much of the damn movie. And they're only doing this to make him different from Loomis. Otherwise, if you don't do something different, then he's just...
Why do you have to have
light.
one at all?
You don't. There's no need for it.
Oh, gee. Heads don't crush like that, by the way.
No, they don't. They're not... It's Gallagher concert here.
That, I mean... His leg would have to be like a hydraulic press for that to happen. And stop with the fucking head tilt.
Yeah. He did it once in the original film.
Once. Are those cop cars like baby blue? That's kind of interesting.
I don't know.
Like white and baby blue?
I don't know. Might just be the lights.
Huh. Because that's a sheriff's car.
Yeah.
But the other one is a town car? Like a Haddonfield? Nope. Also a sheriff. It looks baby blue to me. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
No,
okay. What? He doesn't know you. He doesn't care about you.
It just seems ridiculous. I mean, this whole house full of fucking mannequins.
It's
Mannequin 3.
What? I'm literally at a loss for words. What is this, bedroom?
And is that the Myers house? She have a model of the Myers house down there?
Get the fuck out. That is a model of the Myers house.
Sake. Which didn't look like that in the first film.
No.
It was fucking ramshackled.
Well, right, because nobody could sell it, including her own father.
So she made a model of it, restored it to its original grace. For what fucking purpose?
Original grace.
I'd give him more credit if it looked like the one from Halloween 5, the Gothic Mansion.
Like...
I don't know. It would just seem like, okay, we're owning that we're full of shit.
The Gothic Mansion. I don't even want to talk about that. Nightmare 3, Arquette builds a replica of the house that she saw in her dreams.
Right.
It lended a plot point.
Yeah. And I would say that Dr. Sartan is slightly Dr. Wynn in this film.
Ooh.
Which is Halloween 6, that he's got this obsession with Michael that he wants to be his protector and he wants to unleash him on the world. He's Dr. Wynn from Halloween 6. without the fucking druid robes and shit.
Oh, that's we definitely needed a druid Halloween costume somewhere in the background to really just cap it off. But like, this cinematography is beautiful.
Yeah.
And wait, how did he get there? Did I miss something where Michael read her address somewhere?
No, because...
Did he read the phone book?
The doctor drove him up to the house.
Oh, I didn't realize they got that far.
Well, technically, more or less.
I thought that they were just somewhere on the road.
No, because the two cops were outside the compound.
I got you.
The Waco compound
I
here.
See. Sure. Sure.
Because remember, the doctor wanted to unleash him and see what it's like between them to see how that shit goes down, because he's a dead nut job.
But everything so far has just been, let me introduce some people just for the sake of killing them.
Mm-hmm.
It's all been fodder.
Yeah. We've completely lost the granddaughter in this whole thing.
Well, she got picked up. Oh,
right.
yeah.
She was in the back of the police car. Where is she now?
She doesn't recognize, like, oh, this is the road to Grandma's house?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe she's never been there.
I don't know. But, I mean, again, it's contrived elements here, too. Because, like we said, there's no connection between the two characters except for a random happenstance 40 years ago. That there's no reason for Michael to seek her out. So we have to create a contrived element in the screenplay to force them to be in the same place at the same time.
Well, I'm okay with, from his point of view, because at this point, aside from the killing the podcasters and randomly showing up in this town, he has just kind of
fluttered around,
killed whoever was in front of him.
Yeah.
Including the doctor or the cop, and now Laurie. He may not even recognize that it's the same woman.
Right, yeah.
From his point of view,
right.
I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not debating that element. Just
it's her end.
Yeah.
Why even go down this road? He has no idea who you are. He's not coming for you.
Yeah. You just happen to be there.
And, somebody led him to you this time, and you just happen to be there.
Yeah.
But you've spent 40 years under the false pretense. This whole movie's built on false pretenses.
Yeah. Now you got this whole fucking death house.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
And it still doesn't seem like she's really prepared to do anything. If she was prepared for this, she would have had something at the fucking front door to take him out at. Instead of having to cower and fear and stuff like this. It's like...
Right, the whole point of building a survivalist bunker and in filling it with, canned goods is that you're going to not act and you're going to hunker down in your bunker. and
wait it out.
Wait it out.
For Michael's anything but patient, so it's like...
Right, now you're going to shoot your floorboards?
Yeah. It's like, is it a bunker or is it a death house? Are you going to wait? Are you going to wait it out, or are you going to trap him and kill him? So it's like,
and neither one make any sense because he doesn't know you,
right? But
this is so dumb. It's so dumb,
right? I mean, again, she's got all this entire elaborate house set up with all this stuff, with all these traps and this bunker and everything. Is like she's still
security monitors, a fucking crossbow.
She's got 20 fucking guns, and she still seems like she's completely unprepared to do anything about it.
She's got a hell of a green thumb, though. There's plants everywhere.
Oh yeah,
like everywhere.
Yeah.
She's not even using her bunker right now.
No.
She's seeking him out, which is the opposite of everything that... I don't know. She's so worried about him coming after her, and now all of a sudden she grows a pair of balls?
Yeah, again, it's like...
I mean, if you had
you're having it both ways in this whole film. That either she's going to be
aggressive,
she's going to be aggressive and try and take him out, or she's going to hide and be scared. So it's like they're like doing both at the same time, and it doesn't function.
I mean, if she wanted to do this, she would have been waiting by the bus and taken the bus out herself.
Right. Which almost seemed like that was the way they... When I saw it originally, it's like...
When she's parked in the car?
I almost thought that she was going to create the whole problem in the film.
Like, she was going to try to...
She was going to take some action that's completely irrational and cause Michael to be let loose.
Now, there's another good story.
Yeah.
I got my podcaster version. You've got your version.
Yeah.
Both of which are better than this horse shit.
Yeah.
I'm down with either one. I'm down with your story.
Again, if you're going to make her if you're going to make her somewhat crazy, mentally unstable, and potentially do irrational things, which clearly a lot of this is, it's way overkill, overboard type of stuff, outside of any rational thought whatsoever. Make her do something irrational in the film.
Oh, here's the granddaughter running through the woods.
Yeah.
And she must not have ever been to this home.
No. There's no way she's been here before.
And I'm glad they... Well, I don't know. I guess I see what they did there, but they really over-dramatized the mannequins. And it's like, wait, but we know that that's not something nefarious. It's Grandma's shooting club.
Yeah.
Like, to her, it's scary, but you don't have to shoot it and present it in a way that...
I mean, they're trying to make it seem like any one of these scenes could be Michael or whatnot, but we know Michael's in the house, so there's no attention for it. And again, this is an entire climax where there's almost no music in it.
Yeah, it's silent.
Which doesn't make any sense for me, for this franchise, or the use of suspense or whatnot. I mean, again, the original film is so perfect with how it uses that music to drive the tension and just try to build up the suspense, whatnot. They're trying to use some amount of silence, but I don't feel like it's like edge of your seat terror or whatnot.
It's not.
No.
That disco stuff from part 6 would have been, or Hollow H2O.
The Steve Vai guitars and everything.
The H2O soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that shit
would have been way better than this.
Yeah, just like, it just didn't do anything. This whole sequence just did nothing for me.
Even if we had that, that stinger that played with the granddaughter and the
street and everything,
right? That thing.
Just something to just kind of, just that regular, repetitive, relentless type of rhythm that you have with a lot of the cues in the franchise. It would have added something into it. And at what point did he grab the husband and drag him up the stairs and stick him in the...
Well, we know he likes to do that.
Well, we know that, but we never saw him come into the house with the body.
Right. Right, that's convenient staging.
Yes.
Body staging.
There's a lot of stuff that we've kind of said in the franchise where Michael pops around so fast that it seems completely unrealistic.
Oh, yeah. He's, teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Good visual, though, I guess, with the light and the gun and the mannequins. Like, that mannequin has a big hog on it.
Yeah.
Usually they don't, but that one does.
So this is a really big house for a single mother who raised a solo kid.
Well, she got to have places to hide.
Well, I'm just saying.
So now we got a little music.
Yeah.
And where do you get that knife? Oh, that must be one of hers. Didn't somebody shoot his fingers off earlier? Oh, here's our over the balcony shot, like in Resurrection. I don't know if that's a wink and a nod or not, but
yeah.
Him throwing her over the balcony, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's a reversal from the first film where Loomis shoots him and falls over because in a moment he's going to look back and she's disappeared. Just like the original movie.
Yep.
Again, another lifted scene.
Right. Everything's lifted.
Right. It's not. For me, it gets exhausting because it just keeps glaringly show that you don't have any original ideas. You have to borrow everything from everything else in the franchise.
The same franchise that you're trying to forget by making this movie.
Yes.
If anything, that pisses me off.
Yes.
More than almost everything else. This movie is so have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
that,
jeez.
You know what I mean? It's
it's like we're not going to throw away any ideas. We're just throw everything in here and just not make any sense of anything in terms of a context.
Right. Depending on what scene we're in, Laurie's going to behave one way. Michael's going to behave a different way. This person's our main character. That person's our main character.
The doctor's going to change his motivations on a turn of a dime that's completely unmotivated with no setup whatsoever, and then die 2 minutes later because he has no... Again, once he's served his purpose in the plot to get Michael from point A to point B, he's gone from the movie. Just like the podcasters, once you've elicited all the exposition that we need to get, you're no longer part of the movie. That's bad screenwriting, in my opinion.
100%.
Because you're not a character by that point. You're a contrivance for the plot.
And then the stealing from the other movies.
Yes.
And I do think that the mask is just cracked and aged. I don't think it's dirty.
Well.
Although that trunk might have dirtied it up a little bit. It's sitting in the trunk.
Well.
Jesus Christ. What are we at? 136 and change?
137.
And that's with our little intro, but yeah. I mean, it feels like this has just taken forever.
Yeah. Again, this is definitely got to be the longest one in the franchise. I don't think many of them went over 90 minutes.
100 minutes tops, yeah. Oh, it's a good thing your mama taught you how to shoot a gun. There's some plot convenience for us.
And she probably hasn't handled a gun in 20 years.
Well, how old is she? You know, let's look at this timeline.
Well, the daughter is probably, what, maybe 15, 16?
Okay.
At least. Bare minimum.
Okay, well, we'll say she's 16. This girl right here.
Yeah.
That makes only 24 years in between the events of the first one and the birth of the granddaughter.
Yeah.
So I can't get over to Allison spelled so stupid on the subtitles. I don't know. 24 years. And she was probably...
So the mother's probably maybe mid-30s, maybe?
Yeah. So... The old... I just, my childhood would have been, I don't even know, 20, somewhere between 16 and 35 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird timeline.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. I'm overthinking it.
Yeah.
Oh, Folgers. Oh, I see. You trap him down there, but he's got enough food and water down there to last him for 40 more. She said, "Goodbye, Michael." Is that what she said?
I think so.
Like, oh, I see.
This whole house.
She set up her house to burn down.
This house is so ridiculous.
Halloween 2.
Yes.
Okay. What? So, she's rigged her entire home to burn down. Including the dummy house that she built.
Yeah.
I mean, this house has gas jets going to different rooms. She's made a murder house.
It's so ridiculous.
Who spends 40 years of their life collecting things, building a home, having a family, with the sole intention of burning it down?
And if she was intending to burn the place down, why did she have 20 fucking guns in the basement? And a crossbow.
Don't forget the crossbow. I mean, the fire is beautiful.
And now Michael's disappeared.
Of course he has.
Of course he has. Of a basement that has no exit. To our knowledge.
And now, this is a very highly debated freeze frame.
It just feels very unmotivated.
A lot of people indicated that, a lot of people online, I guess, were trying to decide if that meant that the granddaughter was going to grow up to be a killer, like at the end of,
4.
At the end of 4.
Daniel Harris.
Is that a direct ripoff of Daniel Harris? Is it just that she happened to be holding the knife and it's a...
And also, it's like the franchise never did freeze frame endings. That was a Friday the 13th thing.
I don't mind it. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's very out of character to the franchise. It's very random of a choice and whatnot. I don't know, just
well,
like I said, it just seems unmotivated. There's nothing set up to make you think that's supposed to mean anything, so everyone reads everything into it.
I think 4 ended on a freeze frame with Daniel Harris.
No, it was a static shot, more or less. But I mean, she was up there stabbing the knife up and down. They didn't freeze the frame.
Oh, I thought it froze on her face.
No, I don't think so.
Because the cops come up the stairs, and then she's standing there holding the knife.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they literally freeze the frame.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm fairly certain that the intention was to direct rip off Part 4. Maybe not the meaning, but the look.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a swerve there. It's not like the granddaughter did any killing.
Yeah.
She just happened to be holding it. So, I don't know. It's unnecessary.
Like I said, it just feels very random of a choice to end on that shot.
Very unnecessary.
Anything set up to make it seem like it means anything.
Oh, Will Rimmer. That's a unfortunate name. Oh, sorry, guy. Oh boy. Anyway.
Well, we didn't go full Halloween 5 on this one.
No, but
that ridiculous.
Hopefully, we've matured enough, and we've we've opened your eyes to the idea that when you're going to write a movie, you have to have a story.
Yes.
You have to have a main character. You have to have an objective. You have to have
a focus.
Things that make sense.
Yeah.
This movie had none of them.
No. It randomly roamed around from one character to the next, one set piece to the next. Didn't really have a focus. There's too many things at play and element, and there's just things aren't refined. The ideas aren't refined. The motivations aren't refined. The structure is not refined.
There's a lot of great scenes.
Yeah.
A lot of great images. A lot of great ideas.
Yeah.
But great ideas and scenes and images don't a good movie make.
Yeah. They have to thread together and connect. to an overall story.
Yeah. Not good. Not good at all.
No. It's like when it was released, like everyone kept talking so strongly about it. It's like, was there something wrong with me that I didn't like this? I had to go see it again to reassess it, and then I started seeing other people's reviews saying the same things we've been saying. It's like the film really didn't come together. It didn't feel like it was very coherent. There's certain things that didn't make sense.
And do you know why the people that said they liked it? Probably because of the stupid little winks and nods to the other movies that gave them the continuity that they claimed that they didn't like when they watched those other movies.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many people shit on this film and this shit on that film in the franchise, or this, that, and the other thing. And then they say this film's a really good movie.
Oh, they never should have made Halloween 3. It's so dumb. They didn't even have Michael Myers in it.
Or say Halloween 6 is the worst film in the whole franchise, and...
I hate Halloween 3, but... Oh, hey, did you see those masks? Look at those masks. Hey, that's from Halloween 3. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. All of you that liked this movie.
I'm sure we could go on for another hour about this damn thing. Deconstructing the elements of everything, but...
Please let us know your comments and your thoughts.
Yeah.
I know some of you will watch along, and because you enjoy our takes on things and you enjoy our commentary, so for that we appreciate you. You know, even if you want to just say, hey, I listened along and I agree, that's awesome. Comment that. We love to hear that from any interaction, really.
Yeah.
Even if it's fuck you, we think you're completely off. This movie's a brilliant, you know, this is the Mona Lisa. Tell us that.
Well, I mean,
we promise not to argue too much in comments.
But yeah, they feel like at least this franchise feels like it wants to put itself up on a pedestal above all the other slasher franchise. Like, you're no better than them. In fact, I would argue that Friday the 13th and Elm Street are better because they own their fucking mistakes. They never explicitly kick anything out of continuity. As bad as their continuity is, everything is in continuity in those franchises.
Yeah. Every
2 films in this franchise, they want to clear the slate clean, say none of that ever fucking happened, and we've got better ideas to do it, or we don't make any better films because of it.
Well, you and I came up with 2 better ideas than they've ever had, so I guess whatever. Look for the next movie made by us.
Yeah. We're working on it. We're working on it little by little.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.